Warshetuhi ka'at Lashanka ka'at ra'at Corrina. Good day, relatives. My name is Corrina Gould. I am the chairperson of the Confederated Villages of Lisjan. I'm also the co-founder of the Segurite Land Trust. The language I spoke to you in is Chochenyo. My great-grandfather, Jose Guzman, was one of the last speakers of the language. My daughter, Deja, is the language carrier for our tribe now. And I'm awfully blessed to be here today. Just to be really transparent, this is the farthest I've come from my home in 18 months. And I came here because Val and the Amah Mutsun asked me to be here today. We're all still dealing with this thing called COVID. It's not gone. And I'm really aware that we need to really take care of ourselves and our tribal elders and leaders in this time. There's been a lot of people that we've lost, song carriers and culture bearers and language holders, in this time that the world is trying to tell us to do something else. I want to thank the Amah Mutsun tribal band for their generosity. When I came here last night, I went to the ocean and I put down my prayers for the Awaswas people on whose land we stand. And I asked for prayers for all of us that are gathering here today. Prayers for us and our safety, prayers for the Amah Mutsun, prayers for our other tribal leaders and people that we're traveling here to be a part of this historic moment. I've been blessed in my life to be a part of many historic moments. Things that our ancestors dreamed about, as we are the dreams of our ancestors after all. When Commissioner came up and she was crying, I wanted to just yell out, it's okay, those tears were given to us by our ancestors, our Creator, a way for us to clean all of that stuff out. And we're here holding you. When Martin started telling those stories about those ancestors and what they experienced there, I had to take out my root and burn it because I started having an anxiety attack about that, because it triggered all kinds of things. I grew up directly across the street from St. Lawrence O'Toole, a Catholic church, and every day at 9, at 12, at 3, at 6, at 9, those church bells rang. Every day, I heard those mission bells ringing. My ancestors come from many different tribes. We're a confederation of tribes of tribal people who have been erased of history books. Lisjan people, we come from that waterway, the Lisjan waterway. Our mountain is Tuyushtak, which many people know as Mount Diablo. But our confederation is also inclusive of Bay Miwok and Plains Miwok and Delta Yokut and Napian, all tribes that have been erased from history, and yet I'm still here. So as long as one of us still breathes, as long as one of us still says that language out loud, so as long as one of us still prays at our sacred sites, so long as one of our grandchildren can hold up and laugh, we are still here. And so this mission bell removal reminds us that we are still here. It invigorates us. It gives us life again. It gives us an ability to breathe. It gives us the ability to stand strong and stand straight and to tell our ancestors that we did not give up, that we are all still here. I am blessed to stand on this stage and to hold this space with so many people that have done the incredibly hard work of protecting sacred sites, of bringing back language, of learning those songs again, of doing those walks of prayer. I get to stand here alongside of them and get to remember those times that we shared together. I remember when we first started doing the work with Val around Junipero Serra and the things that happened. And I remember standing and having huge prayers and protests in front of Mission Dolores, where my ancestors were enslaved at, Mission San Jose, where my ancestors were enslaved at, remembering that our ancestors were buried there, just like they're buried here. When I heard Martin talk about the babies that didn't make it, 3/4 of them out of 500, it also reminded me of the 6,500 children that were coming home finally after being killed at these places that they enforced us to go to, these schools, these places that were many times Catholic schools that our children were lost to. They keep coming home because they have a story to tell us. They keep coming home because they say, we're still here for you. They keep coming home because they tell us that we're not done with the work we're supposed to do. These mission bells coming down is that work, that important work that gives the next generation the ability to stand strong, to know that all of us have come together. We're not standing here looking at a wave of just indigenous faces, but we have all 4 colors of those 4 directions standing here with us today. And I want to thank your ancestors for coming, for bringing you here today, for thinking that you can hear these stories, because it's not just our stories to tell anymore. Because once you hear these stories, that is your responsibility to tell these stories again. It is your responsibility to stand with us to stop the mission 4th grade curriculum. It's your time to stand with us to tell the truth to history. It's your time as well. We rely on our allies and accomplices to stand with us to do this incredible hard work, to take leadership from indigenous people right now, to know that when we are moving forward together for the goodness of all that live in our territories now. What happens if our indigenous people were the leaders of our original homelands again? Would we kick you out? Is that what the fear is? We are now living in a place together. But when we talk about land back, that's exactly what we mean. Give the land back. Tell the Catholic churches all of the land that they have to give it back to the indigenous people on who owns that land. And it cannot just be our voices. It has to be your voices along with us. Give it back. Stop the ancestors from coming out of the ground because of corporate greed. Help us to stop the destruction of our earth. Keep it in the ground so that we can all breathe. We lay down the prayers for the next 7 generations, just like our ancestors prayed for us 7 generations before. We are the bridge between the past and that future. And it is our time to do whatever we can to ensure that future for those next 7 generations. So I pray to those relatives that are crowing, that they take our words up to the Creator so that they can hear us. Our ancestors can hear us. We pray to those cloud relatives to come and bring us abundance of water for the next 7 generations and beyond. We pray that we can come in right relationship with fire, and that fire continues to help us along the way, and that we stop continuing to see it as something to fear. We must continue to do these things that our ancestors laid out for thousands and thousands of years. If we were to look at a timeline, Our ancestors go back thousands and thousands of years. This time of colonization or encroachment, as my brother Stan said, is a blip in that timeline. We can actually reverse the horrific things that human beings have done to this earth. We could actually see our salmon coming back up our rivers and our streams. We can do that together. And it starts with this symbol of taking down these bells, remembering our history, remembering that pain that is going to push us forward to change the things that we can change in this world right now. Thank you, relatives. Oh.